everyone, and welcome to Community Health 414, Health and Culture, a Global Perspective. I'm really excited to have you all in class this semester and wanted to kick us off with a short introduction video which will give you a little bit more of an introduction about myself, the course. I thought we would go over the syllabus together and talk a little bit about the books we'll be reading. And if at the end of this and after reading the syllabus in detail, you still have questions about the course, please do not hesitate to email me or give me a call on my office phone or swing by my office in Reed Hall for those of you that are located in Bozeman. So welcome to the course. We are about 25 students so far, and you'll see that this course functions for a few different departments. So it's an elective course for our community health students. It is a core course or required course for the global health minor, which is taught in liberal studies, or which is a component of the liberal studies department. And then we have a few other students joining us from other disciplines. So I think it'll be a great group, really diverse group, which will be nice in terms of providing different perspectives on the readings and discussions that we'll be having throughout the semester. So again, my name is Dr. Michelle Grokey, and I have been teaching this class for a few years now. I am by training, I got my bachelor's degree in economics and my master's in cultural anthropology and my PhD in medical anthropology. So that is a field that lends itself very well for both community health and global health. And if you're not finding definitions for all of these terms yet, don't worry. We're going to spend our first 2 weeks really brushing up on what global health is, what community health is, what these differences are, and then in the second week, kind of what is this medical anthropology and how does that help us to solve community health problems. So I'm currently a professor in the community health department at MSU, and I'm also the health and wellness specialist for MSU Extension. So for those of you that haven't heard of Extension, perhaps you've heard of 4-H. That's one of our most well-known programs, but many people don't realize that Extension also has a health arm to it. So there are a few of us faculty on campus, and we work with Extension agents in all 56 counties of Montana, helping improve health outcomes for our citizens and community members here in Montana. So that is a bit about me. I also spent a few years working for a variety of nonprofit organizations, a few different branches of the United Nations, the Health Population Fund, which looks at a lot of maternal health issues, and have spent some time working in the field of microfinance, which, in a nutshell, is using education and sort of business tools to help folks traditionally of lower income start their own businesses. And I did that in Seattle, Washington for a few years before starting grad school. And I went to grad school at U of M and did my dissertation work in Nepal. So we'll be reading a few of my articles throughout the semester, and after a few more moves, wound up here in Bozeman. So anyway, enough about me. If you have more questions about medical anthropology in that field, please feel free to let me know. And now I want everybody to find the syllabus. So if you found this video, you're already off to a good start. So this video is on the course overview and getting started page. If you scroll down a bit, you'll find the syllabus. It's also under the course resources page. So everybody take a minute and minimize me and pull this up, and let's look at the syllabus together. So I want you to read through the course description, read through the learning outcomes on your own. There are a few freshmen in this course, so if D2L seems overwhelming, I have some links on here to help you navigate that. But again, if you have questions on D2L, how to navigate our online learning system that we use at MSU, please also don't hesitate to reach out. So let's flip to the second page to the ground rules section. So this is a very reading heavy course. If you don't like to read, you won't do too well. But if you like to read, and I really think I've picked a lot of great readings for you all, I think you're going to love what's in store for you all. With that said, if I were to give everybody one piece of advice, it's to keep up with the readings. You will do well in this class if you keep up with the readings, even if there are terms you've never heard and there are topics that seem maybe at first confusing. We can get past that, but if you don't do the readings, there's not much I can do to help you. So stay on top of your readings. All the due dates are in the syllabus, so I would also recommend, especially it's difficult with online classes, you're not going to see me, 2-3 times a week. So please write down all these due dates in your planner, I would say now, before the semester even gets started, so that you don't miss something. For us, I try to keep it really organized. We have most of our due dates are Wednesdays and Sundays, but there are the occasional assignments due on, let's say a Thursday, and I don't want you all to miss that. I'll send announcements, but still, the more you can do now to prepare for the due dates throughout the semester, the better. So the third thing on this ground rules is that we'll be having a lot of online discussions. So while I'm all for encouraging you all to challenge each other and come up with different perspectives and viewpoints, I do want us to be respectful of one another's opinions and our stance on things. And so just as long as those conversations are courteous and, filled with, constructive rhetoric, that would be great. And I will be obviously reading those every week, chiming in sometimes, but know that I am reading those. And, if some things get said that aren't, what just meets the description that I posed, I will be asking you to kind of reframe the way that things are talked about. So as this video will probably be the longest one I post, just as an introduction, but to supplement your readings, I use the announcement feature on D2L a lot. I'll send you announcements with updates on, some extra readings or to clarify a topic. And I also post short videos like this, if not every week, every other week, just for more information to supplement discussions and readings and assignments. All right, so keep going. So we have 3 books. None of them are a textbook per se, but I've picked 3 medical anthropology ethnographies. So ethnography, you'll learn this word well. It is both a method and a type of literature. So in anthropology, as well as in some other fields like community health, the act of doing an ethnography or that type of research essentially means living with a cultural group other than your own, the one that you identify with, and doing some sort of research. It typically involves a longer stay with that community, and ethnographers use a variety of different methods to get their research, but a lot of it revolves around observing the population and doing what we call participant observation. So watching the group while also participating in the activity. So for example, I did a 2-year-long ethnography with ethnic Tibetans in Nepal and wrote about how the first road impacts health outcomes, the first road in that area. So these 3 books that we're going to read, I think they're all wonderful case studies that we can learn about community health and global health with a little bit more hands-on approach. And so the first one that you'll see in the syllabus is called The Weight of Obesity. And this book takes place in Guatemala. And the ethnographer here is Emily Yates Dorr. And this is a great, great book. We'll look at nutrition. We'll look at community health. We'll look at sort of how locals identify with foods and how that might make global health, community health interventions somewhat challenging, especially when they're done by folks other than those from the community. So this is our first case study, and you can see that we will start reading that book in week 3. So the first few weeks, I just have introductions, some articles that I've posted for you all, so we all get on the same page about global health, community health, what medical anthropology is, and then we'll start reading this on our third week. So make sure if you don't have your textbooks yet that you get this one first. All right, so moving on, this is a relatively new book. I haven't used it in this class before, but it is fantastic. This book will take us over to Oceania, so totally different part of the world. This was written by Mac Marshall. He's another medical anthropologist, and it's called Drinking Smoke, the Tobacco Syndemic in Oceania. And so different content, but also this will give us a great stepping stone to talk about many other community health, global health interventions, and we'll work as a group to brainstorm solutions, etc. So this will take us from week 6 all the way into week 9. All right, and then you see that our third ethnography I don't have with me. I'm at home and I left it in my office, but this is great. The third one takes place in Africa, in Tanzania, and it's called Bodies, Politics, and African Healing, the Matter of Maladies in Tanzania. And there we'll learn about traditional healing, different forms of healing other than biomedical, kind of allopathic. Those words we can all use interchangeably for the Western sort of health system that we all have grown up with, or most of us. And so that will give us another jumping off point to talk about a lot of global health, community health issues. So you'll see as you're flipping through the syllabus that we spend about 2-3 weeks reading the ethnography, discussing. I will always post discussion questions online, and then you have a applying the concepts week at the end of that. And there you'll be asked to do a small assignment. And so if you look back, I didn't label your syllabus, which would have been helpful in terms of page numbers. But if you go to page 3 of the syllabus, so after the required readings, you'll see under assignments and grades that your grade in this course is based on 3 things. So the weekly discussions, which we'll talk about in a second. The second thing are the small assignments. So every time we read one of these ethnographies, at the end, you'll have a small assignment, and those are due on weeks 5, 9, and 14. And you'll see on those weeks, we don't have online discussions. You all are working independently, working on your assignment, and then you upload them on the due date for me to look at, at the end of that week. So those 3 things are the second component of your grade and your assignment, so worth 20%. And then the big project that we're going to be working on, and I'm not going to go into this in a lot of detail in this video. I want you to just get an intro to the course, participate in the first week, and by the end of next week, I'll post a separate video all about this Global Health Awareness Campaign project. So don't feel as though, don't feel overwhelmed by not knowing what that is, but in a nutshell, you all will be choosing your own topic to do an awareness campaign project on. You'll also choose a target demographic. So let's say you want to do a project on anti-tobacco, anti-smoking, and for simplicity's sake, in Oceania, and you want to target it to kids. So that's sort of what you do. You pick a topic, you pick a demographic, and then using Adobe Spark, which is a new software, and I'm not expecting anyone to know this or have used this before, but using that software, you all will create 10 to 12 minute videos online, and at the end of the semester, you'll peer review each other's, and instead of writing a large research project as a paper, in a paper format, you're going to be researching, and then the final product will be this video. So that's the Global Health Awareness Campaign project, and you see that I've broken it up into 5 parts. So this sort of scaffolded assignment I really like, because I can see if you're on the right track. If you have questions, I can kind of help you throughout the semester. And so I think with it set up this way, you'll never feel like you're lost, because you're turning in pieces along the way. You're getting feedback from me, and I think it'll work well that way, or it has worked well that way in the past. Okay, so that's sort of the gist, we haven't talked about discussion, so let's talk about that first. And I want you, if you haven't moved me over yet on your screen, and perhaps if D2L is open as well, take a look at D2L, and if not, then just maybe go do this after you've watched the video. But you'll see that in every week, so in D2L I organize the course by week. So if you look at week 1, you'll see that your first discussion assignment is to post an introduction about yourself, and that is due by Wednesday at 5 p.m. And for that one, we're all in the same group. Everyone in the class can see everybody's introduction. And then for the discussion that's due on Sunday night, I want you to read the principles and goals of global health. And so you'll see that's a paper and it's linked right there, week 1. Everything is also in the syllabus, so everything matches. So if you look at the course outline all the way at the bottom, week 1. Once you've read that, you'll see that I've posted a discussion question. And so just read that, think about that, and post that. And so for weeks 1 and 2, I have you all broken up into groups of 5 discussion groups. So you won't be able to see everybody's discussion post from the class, just those in your group. Then I change these discussion groups up with every case study. So case study 1, again, this book, case study 2, this book, and case study 3 is the maladies book that I don't have with me at the moment. So your groups will change, right? So you'll get to learn more of your fellow students. You'll get to engage with different perspectives throughout the semester. And so when we hit case study 1 and you have different people in your group, that is because I like to change those around. So let's talk about what makes a good discussion post. So if you look at the grade book, actually, so click on grades, and there you see all of the assignments that we have in the course. So we have all the different discussions. Those are all worth the same, then the small assignments, and then all the 5 parts of your global health awareness campaign project. Now, all the discussions are worth 10 points. And so I want you all to be aware that just by doing them will not give you the full 10 points. What I'm really looking for is for you to not just tell me what you read. So I've read everything I have assigned in this course numerous times. So instead of just telling me what you read, I want you to really think about what it means and think about how you can write your discussion post in a way that it's more reflective of the why or the how, or questioning perhaps what the author is saying, tying it to another reading we've read, tying it to an experience or that you've had in your life or something else you've read in a different class. Really try to take it a step further. So those, if you do that, you'll get a 9 or a 10, in that range. If you simply do the assignment and, post something and it's more of a regurgitation of what you've read, you'll be more in that sort of 7, high 7, 8 range. So really try to be mindful that you're posting about the why. Why is the author saying this? What does it mean? Or what are some questions you have? Additionally, I want you all, so bouncing around a little bit, but if you go to page 3 of your syllabus, at the bottom here, after the grades and assignments, you'll see I really spell this all out for you all about the online discussions, but I want you to post something, and then I want you to respond to 2 of your classmates' posts. So not only is there a requirement in, the frequency of your posting, but the content of it. So you can't just post once and walk away. I want you to be engaging in conversation with your classmates. So if you post, respond to 2 other people's, and you're including the why and you're including the how, that will be great, and you'll find that you'll do, just fine in the course. If there's ever a time where you're feeling, gosh, I think I've been doing that and I'm not getting the grades I want, just email me and we can have a conversation about how you can improve your discussion posts. So, there's wonderful things about online classes, but I will make sure, or do all that I can to make sure that we do have engaging, lively online discussions, because in a way, that's all that we have, being an online class and not seeing each other face to face. All right, so late assignments, if for some reason, I realize we're all busy, we all lead busy lives, have families, all these other things to do. Late assignments, since you have everything, in advance, due dates are not accepted. However, if there's an emergency or a documented illness or, something of that nature, please let me know, and I certainly will be flexible, and I'll work with you on figuring that out. If you need to make a request for an extension for whatever reason, that will need to be done before the due date and not after, or, the night of, or that type of thing. So if you know something's going to come up, just let me know and we can work it out together. All right, so I think this video has been long enough, but welcome to the course. I'm excited to have you all on this journey with me, and I think that if you've gotten to this video, and I would just recommend continuing on the course overview, keep reading through that, read the course resources section there if you're up for it. I have some links introducing you to Adobe Spark. I also have an example video of a student who did a wonderful job on her health campaign last year. And, just start poking around the D2L sections. So just, before I sign off, for week 1, you have the introductions due by Wednesday, and then by Sunday, the 1 article, and then answer the questions that I have for the discussion. All right, well, it's been a pleasure, and I will talk to you all online very shortly. Take care.